Good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Monday, March 24th, 2025. I, of course, am here with Hammer Solutions and your daily mortgage rate update, the only place on the web where you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, to talk about what's going on with rates and pricing each and every week, broadcasting to you on Facebook and on YouTube. If you're here live this morning, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, do me a favor, go ahead and give me that hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Let Facebook and YouTube know that you were here. Don't forget to smash that like button, tag and a friend, share this post in a group. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and give it that thumbs up. Remember, if you would like a quick reminder that I'm going live, you can go ahead and get a text reminder to your phone. Unsubscribe at any time. It's absolutely free to be reminded, though. Get an email or not an email, text link so you can click and join, and you can sign up for that at hmmr.io/reminder or use this cool QR code over here. Don't forget, if you're on your phone, you can take a screenshot, go back to your photos, and the QR code still works. I'm still amazed by that. QR codes used to be so useless a few years ago when you had to download special apps to use them, and people generally didn't. And now that they are built in natively into the camera and the software, they are so much more useful, so much better. So let's go ahead and say hello. Who is here this morning? Let's say hi to my live friends. Also, I got a question of the day for you while we're getting going here. My question of the day: what's your go-to karaoke song? Are you a karaoke person? Me, I sing like a strangled turkey. Terrible voice. And I'm flat. And it's funny, when I was younger, they told me I was a good singer. I don't think I was ever a good singer. I think being boys don't like to sing, so I think I just had that advantage. But so tell me, what is your go-to karaoke song? While y'all are doing that, I'm going to go ahead and say good morning. James Mahan, good morning, sir. You got spring break in Arkansas? You can't say Arkansas. It's Arkansas. Everybody knows that. Good to see you, though, and have fun on spring break. Doing anything for you guys going on vacation anywhere? Tim Kyla, good morning, sir. Angela Walters, good morning. Taylor Henry, there's a name I don't recognize. Taylor, is this your first time? Or you're just your first time commenting? Well, welcome and good morning. Megan Limber, good morning. Brandy Brickler, there's some names I recognize all the time and love having you all here. And thank you for joining me. Amy Blauser, good morning. Mallory Fotiadis, good morning. Jared Vincent, good to see you, sir. Randy Tinkle, giddy up, my friend. Jason Hansen, good morning. Ron Siegel says that today is an overwhelming Monday. It's National Cocktail Day, National Cheesecake Day, and National Chocolate Covered Raisin Day. So tell us what's your favorite cocktail while you go to your favorite karaoke song, because karaoke definitely goes hand in hand with drinking. For me, my standard, my go-to cocktail is a double Tito's with cranberry tall with a lime. I do like the lime. So that's my standard. What's your standard? Let me know in the comments. Mahan said, nothing exciting, working from home as usual, but all 3 kids. Yeah. Good morning, Kayla. And Chris Dickerson, morning. Mary Jane's Last Dance. Last Dance with Mary Jane. That's how come I see his face, but Tom Petty, right? Couldn't think of him. Cheesesteak Day, Cheesecake Day, or cheesesteak? Because now you've angered all the Philadelphians. Because cheesesteak is, I have to say, I like a good cheesesteak better than I like cheesecake. Fight for Your Right by the Beastie Boys. You know the lyrics by heart. It's easier to scream than sing. Yeah, I'm with you, Jason Hansen. You know what I do? I do the I go to some of the Hank Williams Jr., Country Boy Can Survive, because I can scream that one out too. I can belt that, and it's not too bad. Megan Lindbergh's a Jack and Coke Girl, and something by the Dixie Chicks. I like the Dixie Chicks. Gin and tonic. Ugh, Angela, I don't get gin and, I don't like gin and tonic. No karaoke, not enough gin and tonic. Anyway, all right, y'all, let's go ahead and get started. And thank you for joining me. Let's get into the good stuff here. I'm going to throw this up on the screen and let's take a look at what we got going on here. So let's start off with a quick recap of what happened on Friday. You see that here. It is everything in front of this dotted line. Look at this. Look at this jump up. What would have happened this morning to cause this? I don't believe that. I think that'll actually disappear. We're down 11 basis points at the moment, but I think we're actually down 29. I'll talk about that more in a minute. But on Friday, take a look here. Friday saw steady worsening in bonds through the day. It wasn't enough that we saw any reprices worse generally, but it was enough that they did get worse. And if you take a look here, Thursday and Friday, bonds started out the day. So yeah, these are red candlesticks. Let me zoom in on this. Zoom, 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 zoom. And now I got to refresh it so I can scroll. Okay. So if you take a look, here you go. See these red candlesticks right here? The reason that this is kind of important is because a red candlestick means we started the day up high, but then came lower. So even though this green candlestick, we started here and the next day we were here, and there's really not much of a change, we started the day much higher and then fell back. The next day, Friday, we did the same thing. Started the day much higher and kind of fell back. And that kind of puts, excuse me, I got the hiccups. That kind of puts a level of resistance right here is kind of what's forming. And you can see that behavior in some of these previous examples as well. Started up high and came back down. And we ended the day here at 101.59, ended at 101.56, ended at 101.56 again. Here we were up to 101.58. You can see here we started at 101.61 on that day. Up here we got up to 101.61. And so you can see that kind of for that 101.60-ish level is a line in the sand. If we're looking at the 6.0 coupon, right, that's the coupon that we're watching, the 6.0, 101.60 has got to be a level. I want you to circle that because that's something that you want to be paying attention to because it shows that mortgage-backed securities really struggling to get past that 101.60 level. Now, we're at 101.44 right now, and I want to refresh this. I want to see if this actually does change. Let's check the 5.5. I want to see if that one got a spike too. What happened here? Why? Let's see. That's the 6.0. But the 5.5 is going to do the same thing. Look at that. That one spiked earlier, 8:30, and at 6. The 6 was a little later in the morning. I'm curious about these spikes because we were down 20-something basis points just a few minutes ago, and then boom, that's improved quite a bit. And that kind of changes the landscape of what we'll see today. So today, rate sheets are going to be much worse than Friday, but still very much in that range. And when I talk about being in the range, I'm talking about here, we've been in the 6.7s. So 6 and 3/4 basically to 6 7/8 maybe. And that's generally looking here. If we take a look at optimal blue, let's get rid of the FHA jumbo. And you can see it's going to be in that same thing. We've been in that same area here. I don't know what that little dot thingy is. But I mean, 6.56, you're going to see them bounce back up and put us right around the 6.6s here. So this was on Friday. And if you remember, I did suggest to lock loans on Friday, anything closing near term in the next 15 days. Anything longer than that, we're still kind of in the same boat. So let's talk about that. Reprice risk today is low. The only economic data that we're going to get today comes out around 10 a.m. Eastern time. And that's going to be the PMI data. So I'm still questioning this big jump, this big move. I don't know why we saw that, but after that, it should be a pretty calm day. Nothing that we have to get too worried about. What's affecting rates this week? There's more tariff talk, a lot more with the tariff talk. Let me adjust this to get where I want to get. And I'm going to switch the lock advice down at the bottom here too. So lock advice remains to lock anything closing in the next 15 days. However, there's a caveat on that. You want to start the day cautiously floating because we were looking to see if we did get some kind of an improvement. Now, again, this looks very strange to me to see a huge jump like that. That's not something I necessarily put a lot of trust and a lot of faith in that's going to hold. But we want to see if it were to hold, then it puts a little less of an urgency to lock. But I would still be locking because most likely we're going to continue to lose ground. Now, other stuff we got going on this week, you've got more tariff talk. That's a lot of what's going on here. U.S. Treasuries fall on signs that Trump will dilute April tariffs. When they talk about diluting the tariffs, what they're talking about is that they'll be on less items and for less countries, right? U.S. Treasuries fell, a sign that now remember when Treasuries fall, yields rise. It's actually because you'll see that 10-year Treasury yield is now up to 4.29 or 4.30 if you're going to round. And on Friday, we were at 4.26 and we were at 4.23 on Thursday. And so the yield is rising when the dollars drop because when they say that treasuries are selling for less, it's like mortgage-backed securities going down, selling for less, right? So treasuries fell, a sign investors are favoring riskier assets. So we're seeing one of the normal. We haven't seen this kind of work out this way so much in years, but we're seeing more of a move that money coming from bonds is being pushed back into equities, into stocks, right? So we don't necessarily always see that relationship anymore. It used to be if stocks go up, bonds go down. If bonds go up, stocks go down because money was flowing back and forth. You see less of that now, but it's happening more so here. The yield on the 10-year note rose as much as 4 bips to 4.29. And the move follows reports that Trump's announcement of universal reciprocal trade tariffs on April 2nd, and Trump is calling it Liberation Day, April 2nd, right? That'll be narrower than initially expected. And that's helping temper some of the market's fears about the impact of global trade and growth. Remember, they love this term trade war. So we are in trade wars, So this is something that's helping stocks a little bit this morning. And that's why we've seen bonds kind of take it on the chin. We'll see how much that actually holds up, though. The U.S. 10-year treasuries have traded in a fairly narrow range through March after the yield retreated from the year's high of about 4.80 in mid-January. That's when rates were highest. And Trump's tariff and trade war threats sparked fear of a recession, pushing investors out of stocks into the safety of bonds. We have seen some of that, but we're also, there's also more reasons to it, like the fact that here it's the view is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's campaign to push down bond yields, which that's helped mortgage rates too, which has led some rate strategists at major banks to cut their year-end forecasts. Markets believe that at the end of the year, here in December, that we are going to see 1, 2, 3 Fed rate cuts, 33% expectation of 3 Fed rate cuts, almost 30% for 2. So between the two of these, you got over 60% expectation we'll see 2 to 3 rate cuts by the end of the year from the Fed. All of that is what we're seeing on mortgage rates and pricing right now. So again, if I got something closing near term, I'm watching the day today. We'll see if we get recovery. This was a good jump, but you're most likely still looking to lock anything closing near term in the next 15 days by the end of the day today. Cautiously float to start. Loans that have more time, we're looking to see what does the March labor market data look like. We're going to get that data the first week of April, which is about 2 weeks from today. PCE data this week, not likely to move markets much. You're not going to see too much help from PCE data at the end of the week. It could help recover some losses, but you're not going to see a new trend. Remember, we're not seeing a big rally here. We've seen bonds after rallying up quite a bit, from the middle of January here, worst levels. We saw them really just kind of coming all the way up. Look at this, all the way up to here. And then since then, we've come down and bounced up and come down and bounced up and come down. But this is still trending worse, And that's what puts me in that position. So good morning, Christy Reeser, Glenn Boussard, Dan Crowley, Tina Brumond, Alicia Bowles, Mike Tebow, Bill Stevens. Great to see all of you. So we were chatting a little bit. The first question of the day was, what's your go-to karaoke song? And along those lines, Ron Siegel told us that today is a bunch of different days, that it is National Cocktail Day, National Cheese Steak, not Cheesecake Day, and National Chocolate Covered Raisin Days. So it's National Raisinette Day. But we went with the National Cocktail Day because the idea being, well, if you're going to sing a karaoke song, you're going to have a cocktail. So what's your go-to cocktail and karaoke song? We've had some fun answers here. Jerry Avila is a vodka and Red Bull. I could try vodka and Red Bull. I like vodka and cranberries. Vodka and Red Bull would probably be good. And Hotel California. Can you sing that one? That's good. Bumbu Rum, old fashioned. I've never heard of and how do you do an old fashioned with rum? An old fashioned is bourbon. A Bumbu Rum old fashioned. So do you just do all the bitters and everything else, but instead of bourbon, you use rum? And I don't even know what Bumbu Rum is. I'd have to take a look at that. Um, Kanye West, Gold Digger. Oh, listen. When we get together next time, Brandy, I got to get you out for karaoke. I want to see that. That one will make me laugh. A Tito's Martini with 3 blue cheese stuffed olives, shaken, not stirred. So Megan Lindbergh is we've talked about that already. Jack and Coke and something by the Dixie Chicks. So Sean Segaloff, Crown Royal on the rocks with a cheesesteak would be a Bud Light. Yeah, I don't think but you can rock that out, huh? Nice. I gotta see this. We're gonna have to do karaoke when we do. Are y'all doing Veta VA summer camp? Brandy and Jerry, are you guys heading to Texas this year? It's gonna be July, right? So you just replaced the bourbon. Oh, all right. I didn't know you could do that. Well, I guess it's alcohol. You could do anything, right? So, all right, my friends. Well, it's a happy Monday. Should be a pretty good week. I think things will be quiet again. Lock advice being like we've already talked about there. That good. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, Jerry. Block advice being what we've talked about already. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Appreciate y'all being with me. Hope y'all had a good weekend. I got to show you guys some kitchen update photos. I'll have something for you tomorrow. Getting measured for counters. I got my temporary countertops up for now. And Brandy, you too. Awesome. It's going to be a fun time. Definitely going to be fun. Sean Leland, Vodka Club, Beastie Boys, Paul Revere. Yeah, that's a fun one too. So, all right, y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow and have a fantastic day.